figuring out how you can get paid for doing something and doing it. And I think, not to be messianic about it, but the internet helps a huge amount. I mean, it has changed the way of doing business, online has. But equally, there's business opportunities everywhere. And I've always believed that a great business brain is actually like a great literary brain. You know, that James Joyce started his career as a cinema owner. Before he wrote anything, he founded the first cinema in Ireland. And there's a certain similarity between the mind of the writer who wants to do his own thing, or her own thing, and the mind of the business person who wants to do their own thing and create something. And I think that's what we should be doing. Not teaching business or economics, but teaching that the world is just full of opportunities, and the opportunities are everywhere. And even in the recession, they're everywhere.
One of the things that I've heard you talking about in the past, and we have some travel and tourism students here this afternoon as well, is developing through the diaspora a sense of the love of Ireland as a home place.
Yep.
If that were plugged into, that could be an injection into the economy that maybe we're lacking.
I think it's the biggest asset we have. About 10 years ago, a little bit more, I was sent to work in Israel by a bank. I was working for a Swiss bank, and I'd never been to Israel before, and I didn't know that many Jewish people at all. And what I understood about Israel was one thing very simple. Okay, it's not good to be an Arab, number one. Number two, that Israel is the mothership of a global Jewish tribe. They realize that the strength of the country comes from the strength of Jewish people outside the country. And the strength of Ireland doesn't come from the European Union. In actual fact, we don't have any European history. We have an Atlantic history. You know, we don't have relations in Germany. We have relations in Boston, or we have relations in England. That the tribe outside, the 70 million, and maybe 70 is a wee bit too big, maybe it's smaller than that, right? Maybe it's bigger, who knows? They yearn to be part of our story. If you meet Irish Americans, I don't know how many people have walked into a bar in New York and some guy goes, "Hi, how are you doing? You Irish? I'm Irish too." No, you're not. You're a Yankee. No, I'm Irish. But the point is, we've got to accept there's more to Irish America than ripping them off in Bunratty Castle, right? Which is what we do. You know, you get a bunch of Yanks come here. They are our cousins. We are their. For them, this is home. This is their second home. And for tourism, like for example, think of something like. Think around here in Waterford, right? Think of give me a small town, small village around here. Just give me one name of a small village in Waterford.
Carrick.
Right, Carrick, right? That is shocking.
That's in Tipperary. Okay, give us a Waterford name then. Shout one out. Kilmacthomas.
Right, think of Kilmacthomas, right?
That's my geography for you.
Never been there, but I'm sure it's a lovely place. Kilmacthomas, right? Kilmacthomas, I bet you in Kilmacthomas there is a local historian, probably a retired school teacher, who is obsessed by the people who left Kilmacthomas over the last 200 years. Possibly a local priest, local retired guard, local busybodies, right? And the reason I say this, think of how the GAA has been so successful in this country, right? The GAA has been so successful in this country because it organises on a village by village, townland by townland basis. And it's about pride in that particular area. Like I couldn't believe years ago when the first Irish reality TV show came on. Do you remember Eurostar? Right? Now I was watching that objectively as somebody's brought up in the suburbs who's not really plugged into the mad tribalism of outside of Dublin. So you get somebody who get up and actually sung even worse than Jedward, right? Hadn't a note in their bleeding head, but it was from Kilmacthomas. And the whole of Kilmacthomas and the whole of Waterford voted for this person, even though it was clear they had no talent, right? So it wasn't the All-Ireland talent show, it was the All-Ireland tribal show, right? The same carry-on goes on at the moment, right? Irish people are incredibly proud of the village they came from. Something that Dubs don't get, I think. But the village we all came from is a village where hundreds and probably now tens of thousands of people, descendants, left over the course of the last 200 years. It is now possible to trace every single one of them. Every single one of those people. You trace them. You contact them. Again, this is where the internet is amazing. And you say, Mr. Mickey Murphy in Ohio, who's an Irish American, you're not just an Irish American. Your great-grandfather came from Kilmacthomas. And you give him a Google map, right? And you can pinpoint the very graveyard that his great-great-grandfather was born in and died in, because most people aren't born in graveyards, thankfully. Okay? Sorry, I was just getting evangelical. Right? So suddenly Mr. Mickey Malone, or whatever his name is in Ohio, is not just Irish American. He's right in the graveyard where his great-grandfather was buried. Now that's enormously powerful as a tourist product, because you gather them all together. Now think about that. It's a very simple idea. If you go to these small villages, you get people who are into all this stuff. The local Catholic Church has all the records. Local church in your village knows everything. Well, we know they know everything about everyone. That's a job description. It's called confession. Which I'd love to be a priest for half an hour to do that. Wouldn't that be great crack? You did what? Go on, you're serious with who? Oh, man. Result. Anyway, that's why...
I don't think they're allowed to say that.
I know, but in your head. You'd have a kind of a moment in your kian. He's a character in my next book, actually, I've decided. But I mean, that's a great example where you can build things up from the ground. And this is what we've got to do in the country, and realise that the resource of Ireland is us. It's not, Dell Computers or Microsoft or Boston Scientific or Halifax Bank that went bust today. Or it's us.
But we were saying, you and I were saying this earlier, that as Irish people, we all claim to love Ireland and be incredibly proud of where we come from. Yet, we don't put that into action always terribly well.
No, I mean, as I said, the Irish make fantastic patriots and absolutely appalling citizens, right? In the sense that it's all kissing the colours, Robbie Keane-esque, When the rugby is on, the Republic of Ireland is on, me, for Irish me, full on. And then it comes to helping Alwyn's beside you, so I don't know her, right? So, or, come paying taxes or things, So Irish people are very good patriots, but actually very bad citizens. Now, I'm not too sure why that is. The French are quite patriotic, but they're good citizens. I mean, what we've done in Ireland is we live in a republic that behaves like a monarchy. And the Scandinavians live in a monarchy that behaves like a republic. Like, we've created a republic without Republicans, apart from the fellows who shoot them, those type of Republicans, right? But the non-shooty Republicans. Although I did have to laugh at the language of the INLA the other night.
Really?
You just think, like, who are these creeps?
Well, they're creeps without guns now, thank God.
No, but thanks be to Jesus. But like, I'm looking at them creeps with guns. Like when they had guns, I find it deeply offensive. And you think that person had a gun at one stage and used it.
Yeah.
And used it a lot.
Used it a lot, yeah.
It's freak out. Jesus.